Excuse me. I just wanted to say I thought you were absolutely beautiful. I'm sure you probably get it all the time, right? I mean, you know.
No, I appreciate your compliment.
So you've finally done it. You've finally gone up to a girl and she's stopped and she's sitting there and she's showing interest in you, right? But then the problem, you don't know how to carry on that conversation, right? You're speaking to her and you can kind of see her interest drops. She starts looking around, the conversation starts fading out, and then you end up getting too in your own head and you stand there looking like an idiot, okay? This has happened to me way too many times in my past, way too many times than I care to admit. But in this video, I'm going to show you guys effective strategies to carry on the conversation after you start it with a girl to get her interested in you, right? To get her looking at you with those anime eyes and to hold that interest throughout the conversation. And here's the best part, guys. I'm going to tell you guys how you can be authentically yourselves throughout these interactions, okay? How you can be your natural self, because it actually does not work in your favor if you're forcing conversations, which is what I used to do, okay? So before I go into the most effective strategies in doing this, I'm going to tell you guys what I did wrong for the longest time, okay? This is going to save you some serious stress and some serious gray hairs, okay? So for the longest time, I was able to go up and approach a girl. I'd be able to get her attention. She would stop what she's doing. She would give me this look of interest. And then slowly but surely, her interest would fade. She'd start looking around and I would just feel it. And because of that, I would start trying to force the conversation. Oh, do you live around here? Oh, what do you do for work? Right? I just blurt out whatever topic came to mind. And at this point, it was already too late, right? Too little, too late. The conversation's already dead there in the tracks, right? She's bored out of her mind. I'm bored out of my mind talking about things I didn't really care to talk about, right? And, you know, next thing you're on the ground, ooh, 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 trying to resuscitate the conversation from the dead. This is not what you want, guys, okay? For the longest time, I couldn't figure out what the I was doing wrong, right? I'd be carrying on the conversation and then it's dead in the water, right? The girl, I was able to get her number, but then she wouldn't answer me. She'd ghost me, right? She'd take too long to respond. And then I saw my friend do this same thing, right? I saw him go up and approach a girl and he was doing the exact same thing I was doing, right? She'd be interested out of the gate, but then her interest would slowly fade away. Why? What other adjustments could we have made? And then it clicked. It finally occurred to me what we were both doing wrong. We weren't showing our intent. We weren't showing why we had came up to that girl in the first place, right? Here's the thing, is girls are very socially calibrated. They know why a guy comes up to them, right? They know that he's not just trying to find My Little Pony in the distance. He knows that they're not just trying to find the nearest Starbucks, right? If you walk up to a girl and you say, "Hi, do you know where the nearest Starbucks is?" You know, and you don't actually get to the point of why you've approached her, she's going to think you don't have balls, right? This is the equivalent of you walking in to a car lot, right? You know what car you want vaguely, and then the car salesman comes up to you and asks you 1,000 other questions that have nothing to do with the car, and you're sitting there like, what the fuck? Get to the point and stop wasting my time. This is exactly what a girl thinks when you go up to her and you start talking about everything under the sun other than actually displaying intent of why you've came up and approached her. So the real question is, how do you carry a fun and flirty conversation, okay? I try to do this as quickly as possible. When I meet the girl, I shake her hand in a way that's longer than socially acceptable. "Hi, I'm Devin, nice to meet you." And then I'll usually comment on her handshake, right, while I'm holding eye contact. And I'm either saying something along the lines of, you know, "You're cute and all, or your handshake needs work," or I'll say, "Wow, what are you, in business administration? You got a pretty firm handshake," right? I'll comment on her handshake while I'm holding it. Devin, nice to meet you. You have a pretty firm handshake, actually. Are you in business or administration of some sort?
I would say my day-to-day business brings me enough handshakes.
Okay, okay. And what is that?
Meeting people. Gotta have a firm handshake.
Yeah, you don't want like a wet
Flimsy.
noodle,
Yeah, exactly.
sloppy, like flailing fish handshake, you know? What is this here? This is showing her that I'm not just interested in being her friend, that this isn't just a friendly interaction, right? The quicker you can establish this frame, the better for you, right? So if the conversation dies, you guys can always say, so, what's your story, right? And as you're saying this, you're holding eye contact. Eye contact is huge. This alone will separate you from just having boring and platonic conversations to fun and flirty conversations, right? Because if you're just kind of casually looking around, right, you're not actually looking at her eyes, or you are every now and then, what you're doing is you're establishing this. You know, you're giving her a certain look. This is coupled with your tone of voice, right? Because there's a difference in talking to a girl like this and being friendly and, you know, hiring your voice like a lot of guys do and trying to be overly nice, and this, right? And speaking to her in a way where you're lowering your voice. You're making eye contact, right? And the thing is a lot of times it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it and how you're conveying certain words, you know, certain things that you say. Now, the main thing I also like to do is screen for logistics, right? So this will come in the form of asking the girl what she's up to at the current moment. Or I'll say, are you getting up to anything crazy today? What are you doing? And then if she says, oh, I'm just kind of, you know, enjoying the weather, it's my day off, then that's your cue right there to take her on an Insta-date, you know, providing that you're not doing anything, right? Because you want to be leading the interaction forward in some way, shape, or form. So what are you up to for the rest of the day?
I'm waiting for my friend. We're gonna walk around, probably go to the library.
The possibilities are truly endless.
Yeah, it's a free Saturday. What about you?
Yeah, I'm meeting up with a friend myself.
Yeah.
And then after that, the possibilities again are endless. So
Are you from here?
in my past, I would go up and approach girls and, you know, we'd have a conversation on the sidewalk for half an hour when that's not showing intent, right? By leading her somewhere, it's a turn on for her because you're showing her those leadership qualities, which is very attractive in her eyes, right? But you're also showing her intent, that you want to just get away from, you know, talking in the middle of the sidewalk. You want to do something more exciting, right? And by taking her on an Insta-date, you could say, hey, let's go grab coffee. Let's go enjoy the weather together. Look at that. Me too. I got like 20 minutes, but, you know, I know this place just down the street. We'll grab a quick, you know, espresso shot, whatever the case is, but you need to be leading that interaction somewhere, guys, okay? Don't just stand there not doing anything. Now, if she's going to meet up with a friend, that's when you can grab her number and set up a date right there. Another way you can show genuine interest, which is not really too hard to do, is just say, so what's your background, by the way, right? This is going to get her to start telling you these details, right? Oh, actually Italian, I was born in Sicily, right? Whatever the case is, you can build off that, right? It's just showing that you're getting to know her, right? Because what a lot of guys do wrong is they think me, as opposed to you. This is pivotal, right? Instead of just being stuck in your own head, wondering, how can I impress this girl? How can I qualify to this girl? What can I say that will get this girl interested in me? It actually works in your benefit if you remain a mystery, a question mark. There are times where a girl literally knows nothing about me when I approach her, but that's what gets her thinking. That's where that intrigue comes into play, because think about it like this. Would you go see a movie if you already knew everything about that movie or a lot about that movie, right? That's the case with most trailers these days. You watch a trailer and you've seen the whole goddamn movie, right? This is why a lot of girls will flake you. This is why a lot of girls will ghost you, because you've given up too much information about yourself, and the girl's thinking, I already know about, you know, everything about this guy. Why would I want to learn more about him, right? So ask more questions about her. Get her to open up about herself. But you can follow this up with a statement so it doesn't feel too interrogative, right? You ask a girl what she does for work. Let's say she works at Starbucks, right? You can say, oh yeah, I remember being a barista. I used to work at X place down the street. You know, I remember people would come in all the time and they'd look like zombies. They'd be walking in, bumping into walls, right? It's crazy how people get before they've had their first cup of coffee, right? So you're creating rapport by doing that. Now, if you guys want to see a video on how you can create more rapport with girls, watch this video right here.